You are, stop. Okay, you've got it on double boxes instead.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
You're not gonna get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama!
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Even the mighty might not see it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. But you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 6.
And good afternoon. Welcome to Mississippi Live Weather at 5. I'm meteorologist Gabe Maynard. We'll get to our chief meteorologist Matt Lopon breaking down the rain chances this afternoon in just 1 second. But first, we have a multitude of things we're going to jump into. First of those being more showers and storms sticking around this afternoon and continuing this evening and overnight. But those rain chances, again, a continuation of the active pattern we've been in this week. Rain chances are trending down, however, so there is some good news in that extended forecast. Also with the extended forecast, whenever there's a give, there's also some take. So enjoy the cool for now, because that shifts as we head further into the week as well. Looking outside right now, just calm conditions over Tupelo. A beautiful sight there with plenty of cloud cover. I mean, you're seeing it right there. Those cumulus clouds, those puffy cumulus clouds, starting to get some lift to them, and that's where we've gotten a few of those isolated showers and storms this afternoon. 88 degrees though, so that rain-cooled air definitely playing its part, and that's where we say enjoy the cool for now, because again, that does shift. 88 degrees there in Smithville. And this was getting a look at some of those showers and storms that were transitioning more across the Alabama state line. Still seeing a few of those rain shafts off there in the distance, but that has transitioned. It's a much more calm pattern now, but still a few isolated showers are sticking around in that forecast. We're taking a look at the next 12, and we do still see those rain chances there by 6, by 9, trending down by midnight, but there is still those isolated chances of some showers and storms. And we're going to be joined right now by our chief meteorologist, Matt Lopon, breaking down a few of those storm threats. Matt, what are we seeing on radar right now?
We're seeing some thunderstorms, not as many as what we had earlier on this afternoon, as we had some severe thunderstorms warnings, at least briefly there for Franklin County, Alabama. Now, all that activity has worked its way into Alabama, closer there, as you can see, the Birmingham out to the east of Russellville as well. Now, that's not to say we don't still have some storms. We do. We just thankfully don't have any that are anywhere near as strong. Let's come in a little closer and kind of analyze a few of these as of now 5:02. Rienzi, where they're a little heavier. Putting this in the motion here, looking at this 1 hour loop. Again, these are kind of all working their way eastward. Speed on them, I'd only put it about 20, maybe 25 miles per hour as they continue to be a little heavier than maybe just a little bit earlier on. We'll look kind of the latest scans here. We'll look 3-dimensionally on this batch just to kind of assess what's going on aloft. You might notice that with a Mississippi Live Weather Radar, I do this a lot more than maybe I did in the past, partially because it's just a little easier to kind of get that data in here and get a really good look at what's going on. We're going to slice into this just to kind of assess the health of this thunderstorm here. This is near the Jacinto area, back toward around Jumpertown. I do show really the height of this only around 15 to 20,000 feet in general, closer to the Rienzi area where that's probably the heaviest at this time. And luckily, I would say, again, well below severe limits with that whole batch there. Tracking that east, speed about 20 miles per hour there, again, right over top of Jacinto and altitude, moving there eventually toward Midway, maybe Iuka. We show Iuka, we're looking at that for you about 531 there, Midway 534, but obviously right now over Jacinto, Leedy at 507. This is just Burnsville, as you'll note there, at 516. Don't want to jump past that. But again, this is just moderate rainfall, not as strong as what we had just a little bit earlier on. As we kind of clear things out here for a moment, widen them out, we're still watching some thunderstorms back here toward Ashland and Spring Hill. These are all relatively weak. We'll track the Blackjack and storm there and toward Collegiate and Tiplersville. And you can see there we're looking at Tiplersville by about 532, Collegiate at 542. That's just moderate rainfall, though that one is a little bit on the upswing there. So we kind of click it back to the regular version here of Mississippi Live Weather Radar. Looking at the Memphis site, you can see kind of this outflow boundary, much like we had last last night. Some additional development, possibly down toward Holly Springs eventually with this there. A couple storms closer to Water Valley, but as you'll note here, these are fairly weak. Look at that one there. Again, it is weak, but might as well look at it a little closer there, closer to Pontotoc. As you'll note there, near Pontotoc, and I'll bring it here to the latest scans on this. Those are moderate in nature. Let's pull up our camera there in Pontotoc, kind of looking generally in that direction, kind of from the south side of Pontotoc there. I might actually have to swing the camera a little bit. I kind of figured that'd be the case. Still kind of pointed that north. We're going to need to go west-ish with that. So give me just a moment to kind of pull that up here. Appreciate the good folks there. North Mississippi Storm Chasers, they're paying attention. They're helping me out, and they're going back toward the west to look at that. Again, just a nice puffy clouds mostly. And then as we look back into this, you can see again a little hazier there toward the horizon as a little bit of precipitation right there with it. So non-severe thunderstorms out of this afternoon, but again, moderate rainfall. And I really appreciate, again, the good folks there with North Mississippi Storm Chasers. Always have our back, always have related to this there. Another good camera to check out is our Tupelo camera. This looking more in a southerly direction. We were watching some thunderstorms on this earlier on, but it's just a pretty view and represents what a lot of us have at this time. 88 degrees current temperature, feels like 95. That's despite the fact that we had some thunderstorms kind of move through earlier on, did get that rain cooled air more effectively in here. Clearly not a long-lasting dose of that. So again, if I'm tracking those storms, in particular that one near Pontotoc, let's put a loop on that again here. And that's moving close to, we'll say, directly east. So time frame, and I do expect some lightning strikes with this, but not a lot. And again, this is non-severe. About 20 miles per hour, we'll say. So we get that into Pontotoc about 5:17. The reason I didn't track this all the way into Tupelo, there's a good chance it falls apart before it ever gets here. We're looking at Nixon by about 5:22 there, Furs at 5:40 and 5:45 Chesterville. Again, assuming it continues moving at about the speed it is, about 20 miles per hour or so. Let's widen it back out, look at the whole area here. Again, just a couple little pop-up showers down here toward Pickens County, Alabama. In Columbus, we're in good shape. I'm going to switch the radar site back around to the one it says on my screen here, Columbus, but of course the site there is in Monroe County. We show again some moisture there near Ethelsville with all those kind of tracking eastward, going up on this little boundary there, and so that'll make its way toward LaBub there, and of course reform in the next few minutes. But obviously here in general, and thankfully, Gabe, these thunderstorms are largely well below severe limits this evening, and likely to stay that way as we go into the remainder of this evening.
Of course, and I want to say that there was a notification popping up on your screen saying severe thunderstorm warning. That was about an hour ago as that fizzled out there in Franklin County, Alabama. So fortunately, once it did reach the severe limits, it did dissipate relatively quickly. That cyclical pattern that we see this time of year definitely taking full effect as we head further into our Wednesday afternoon and evening. Now, looking at the next 12, again, we talked about that, where more rain chances are possible. Let's go ahead and break down those chances. So Wednesday night, we still see a few of these isolated showers and storms popping up. Now, a lot of these are going to remain subsevere, like Matt was saying, a good bit subsevere, but a few of those still containing several strikes of lightning, a rumble of thunder or two, and some of our models are definitely having a large portion of that be right in the Golden Triangle area overnight. So don't be surprised if you get some heavier rainfall, or be surprised at some of those lightning alerts on the Mississippi Live Weather app. But continuing, still 3 a.m., a few of those green blips popping up, primarily going to be along the Alabama state line, but by early hours of our Thursday, a few of us waking up to a shower. I say a few, I mean a few, because like one of the people, Darla over there in chat, was saying, I wish it would rain here in Fulton because it's raining everywhere else. Well, that's just how this pattern goes. It's so isolated that not everybody gets those rain chances, and so still continuing that same trend into our Thursday as well. More rain chances become a bit more numerous as we head towards 9 a.m. as that follows that basically the 82 boundary, staying right along Highway 82, but then builds a bit more north there by early hours of our afternoon. And there you can see just how widespread these showers and storms are as we head further into our Thursday mid-afternoon, especially by late afternoon. And there's kind of that primary focal point right around the Golden Triangle area south of Highway 82. That's going to be your best threat for rain chances in the next 24 hours, I would say. And looking at the next 24, you see that right here, 3 to 6 p.m., that threshold for your most significant rain chances, but still isolated chances for the next couple of hours and overnight. So if you have any late night plans tonight, have that rain gear ready just in case those showers do pop up where you're at, but especially by tomorrow afternoon. And we'll talk more detail about this coming up in the next 60 seconds. Just what can we expect overnight? How much rainfall are we going to be getting? And how much rainfall have we received? All of those totals coming up in the next 60.
Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome.
prediabetes does. With early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test today. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
I know you're going through a lot. I wonder if you know that we can get help. Let's see how far we can go. Love, your mind.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. But only you can prevent wildfires.
Right now, from the Mississippi Live Weather Center, here's meteorologist Gabe Maynor.
Well, welcome back to Mississippi Live Weather at 5. Let's go through a few of your Weather Watcher pictures. You guys giving us eyes in the sky out there. TJ over in Corinth getting us a great shot of that shelf cloud as those storms move through the far northern portion of our viewing area. I mean, it missed our house by just a couple of miles twice. So that same trend, that same area, getting quite a bit of rainfall. But TJ wasn't the only one seeing it. Matthew and Kossuth, they're still Alcorn County getting a great shot of that shelf as it rolled on through. Fortunately, nothing severe, but heavy rainfall and a very energetic storm. That's definitely what a lot of folks were seeing. Caitlin and Ingomar, Union County, you weren't excluded from that weather last night and even today as those storms rolled on through that little bit, I'm going to call it a disorganized shelf just because it's not really put together like we'd expect those picturesque shelves to be, like what we have been seeing, but still a great shot from Caitlin and Ingomar showing the rain shaft behind it. So you're getting a great shot of basically the entire structure of that storm as it rolled on through. Doppler radar right now, our Mississippi Live Weather radar showing that band of showers and storms roll on through and then transition more east into northwest Alabama. That's where that severe thunderstorm warning was issued. But now we're seeing those showers and storms transition more into Alcorn and Prentiss County there at the 5 o'clock hour. So that's going to continue to move east through Tishomingo County and then on in northwest Alabama. Again, we talk about this same threshold, seeing the same chances of rain. Well, that continues to be the case even into our Wednesday evening. So Tuesday evening, Wednesday afternoon, and now Wednesday evening. Just can't get enough of the rainfall up there. I don't know who did the rain dance, but someone did. Taking a look at the entire extent of North Mississippi, you're getting quite a bit of rainfall, far north sections, but still isolated chances south of Highway 82. That's what we're watching, and that's what Matt just broke down for us. But satellite imagery is just very picturesque, very like what you'd want to see whenever thunderstorms occur because it shows the maturation process of these storms rolling on through. Just watch as we enter into Lamar County, Alabama. Let this re-loop, and we have time, of course. As this reloops, you can see that bubbling happening on the top of that storm right there. And even up north, as that severe thunderstorm warning storm rolled on through, let's just watch that here real quick. You see how it's bubbling over the top and it creates those ripples in the clouds? So satellite imagery even shows that these thunderstorms were very mature, continuing to build as it moved further into northwest Alabama. So that's why National Weather Service there in Huntsville issued the severe thunderstorm warning, just because it kept trending up. But finally, once it reached its peak, it did start to trend down. So that's what we expect with these storms. It builds in strength and then diminishes greatly, and we're going to see that on our day planner through the next couple of hours as well. 6 o'clock, again, that primary threshold for rain chances, but really starts to diminish into 7, 8, 9 o'clock on into the rest of our evening. We walked through this a few moments ago, but Futurecast basically is showing those line of storms moving through the area, and that's what we're seeing right now. But as that pushes more into northwest Alabama, diminishes just a bit in strength. So not expecting anything severe like what we saw earlier, but that will just continue to transition east. More bubbling up on the back end of this, so overnight, don't be surprised if you hear a few rumbles of thunder, especially if you live along the Alabama state line. That's the primary area that we are watching. But into tomorrow morning, more showers and storms are possible. You see that isolated green blip. I'm going to call them blips because it's such a momentary shower. They do not stick around for long, and that's going to be for the start of your Thursday. Enough to have the rain gear ready just in case. Can never be too careful. Low temperatures tomorrow morning. If those showers do pop up where you're at, expected to be in the mid-70s, but really with how dry of a start it should be, I expect low 70s for the entire area, 72 Greenwood, Grenada, 70 in Boonville, Iuka, even Red Bay. So typical, seasonal, what we'd expect for the start of the day. Futurecast into the rest of our day shows those storms really starting to ramp up, especially along 82. Again, tomorrow's theme is going to be the 82 corridor where these storms start to develop. Noontime continues to move east through the area. Columbus, Starkville getting those late morning, early afternoon. That transitions more into widespread chances by the afternoon, seeing those reds and oranges pop up, showing heavier batches of rainfall by 1, 2 o'clock. And we always talk about this time of year not paying attention to a specific city that it's over, but basically showing that the entire area has a chance at a few of these popping up, and it's kind of hit or miss whenever it comes to use. That's why we say be on the safe side, of course. But into the rest of our evening, that same primary threshold where models are really picking up the same batch of rainfall continues to be where we're watching by 6 p.m. So I hope if you live in Columbus, based off of how models are being, I hope you have that rain gear ready. High temperatures tomorrow afternoon, still below average, and we're going to take all of this as we can before we get into that hot forecast moving forward. Heat indices well into the triple digits for a lot of places, including Bruce, Greenwood, Cleveland, Clarksdale, right where you'd expect it to be, but mid to upper 90s going to be the case for the rest of us. That's not too shabby compared to what we have seen in recent days. Futurecast into the rest of our Thursday evening, a lot of those showers dissipate out. Of course, sun sets, we'll lose that daytime heating and a lot of that energy to keep these storms going. By mid-morning, still remaining dry, and even early morning on our Friday commute, still staying dry. So for a lot of us, this should be the best look we've seen this week, and we'll take all the dry air that we can get. But by noontime, more showers start to pick up, and we'll see that continue to ramp up by the afternoon. You see how widespread these chances get now. Is it going to be this widespread? Probably not, but we're seeing at least a few chances of showers and thunderstorms by mid-afternoon on our Friday. The typical summer pattern like we've been experiencing. 6 p.m. still sticking around, so have that rain gear ready once again, but those will start to dissipate heading later into the overnight hours. Sun sets, loses that energy. I'm going to say it over and over again because that's just the case when it comes to these storms. So high temperatures Friday, trending a little bit warmer, maybe by a degree or two, but those the heat indices going to even trend warmer as well, with a lot of places upper 90s and some areas right at that heat advisory place, with Greenville coming in with 105. Now, looking at those rain chances over the next 7 days, that's what we're paying attention to because, yes, it does start to peak into Friday with how widespread those chances are. But by the time we get towards Saturday, Sunday, coming in with about 30%, that has diminished from what we've seen even 24 hours ago. So models are trending in a bit of a drier direction, 30 and 20%. That's the lowest that we typically see this time of year. But then by Wednesday, rain chances pick right back up, and we'll be in for quite a wet forecast moving forward. So forecasted rainfall over the next 7 days. Again, a lot of this comes within the next 48 hours, and especially by Wednesday, 3/4 of an inch there in Calhoun County. We're seeing an inch in Chickasaw County, 1.25 inches there in Lamar County, and same thing down in Pickens. So really, this is your threshold along the Alabama state line, paying attention to that for your best chances of rainfall, especially for the next 48 hours. But as I mentioned, Saturday and Sunday comes in with rain chances, but remains much lower than what we've even seen 24 hours ago. Heading into next week, though, the temperatures really start to ramp up, and this is what we'll look more in detail at 6, so make sure to stay tuned for Mississippi Live weather around then. You can see that they do start to trend warmer, low 90s, mid 90s there by Wednesday, so it's going to be a hot one. It's going to feel muggy. It's going to probably have those heat advisories back in place. We're tracking that all in detail coming up tonight at 6, so make sure to have the Mississippi Live weather app when it comes to that to get all the very
I don't remember how it started.
What's that?
Our back and forth. It always came back. Dad! You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
One in 10 kids vape. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes.
The Health Class Film Guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Talk to your child about vaping today.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. But only you can prevent wildfires.